In today's video, I'll share with you why most energy drinks don't really give you energy. They don't work, at least not in the sense that you would expect. I'll also tell you why most of those products are terrible for your health, and I'll introduce you to my favorite energy drink that has clean ingredients and that actually gives you energy. At the end of the video, I'm also going to share with you, so stick with me, how I combine my favorite energy drink from Ketone with a special type of alcohol that helps me sleep better and wake up more recovered. So stick with me. Now, before we get started, a couple of disclaimers. One is I'm not a medical doctor, so nothing in this video should be considered medical advice. This video might also contain affiliated links. If you use them, I get a commission. It doesn't change my editorial integrity, but it helps support this channel. Speaking of supporting this channel, if you want to do so, subscribe, click on the alert button, like this video if you do, or leave me a comment below. So the other day I went to the store and looked at some of the most popular energy drinks on the market, like Red Bull, Monster, C4, and some of the others, and look at the ingredients label to see exactly what they would contain, so I can tell you how terrible some of those ingredients are for you. Let's start with the number one ingredient that is, in fact, that one ingredient and the only ingredient in most of those drinks that can actually give you energy, and that is sugar. Because sugar, or more specifically glucose, is one of the few molecules that the mitochondria in your cells can use for energy. So we have glucose, we have ketones, we have fatty acids, we have lactic acids. Those are the most popular or common types or energy substrates that your body can use. So glucose can give you energy, or your cells at least can use it as a fuel. The problem with glucose is that most Americans consume significant amounts of carbohydrates that your liver converts into glucose. So if you follow a standard American diet, you have significantly more energy at your disposal than what you need. So drinking or having an energy drink on top of that isn't really give you more energy. It does give you more fuel, but your body cannot use it because it's already saturated. The problem with consuming excess fuel is that your body converts it into fat and stores it. So what happens when you consume a meal or an energy drink for that matter that has carbohydrates or sugar, then your blood sugar levels will spike, obviously, and then insulin kicks in to remove that glucose from your bloodstream and get it to your cells where they can use it for energy. But if your cells are already saturated, if they already have enough glucose, they say, thank you, I'm good, I don't need it anymore. So what happens next is, well, your body has at least two storage mechanisms to put away that unused glucose, and that is in your muscle tissue in the form of glycogen stores, and in your liver also in the form of glycogen stores. But if those storage mechanisms are saturated as well, and they likely are if you follow a standard American diet, then the rest of it gets converted into fat and stored in your adipose tissue, in your fat tissue. And that's maybe one of the reasons, or at least a factor, in why so many Americans are overweight or obese. They just consume excess energy and the wrong types of food as well. So it's not only about calories in, calories out, very important to understand, but at least it's a matter of fact that if you consume too much energy, your body converts it and stores it, because your body might think, well, maybe in the future, if we don't have energy available, we can use that. We can convert it back and use it for energy. In our modern lives, those days never come because we have access to food every single day. So we keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's number one. So the glucose in energy drinks doesn't really give you energy. Now, here is the kicker though. If you're metabolically unhealthy, and unfortunately, again, most Americans are, then what happens when you consume sugar, your blood sugar levels spike and then they come down. In a healthy human, your blood sugar levels would go back to baseline, and you would not feel cranky or hangry or dizzy or anything. You wouldn't feel bad when your blood sugar levels come down. If you're not metabolically healthy, then your levels might actually drop below baseline and you might feel like you're low on sugar. And you get all of those symptoms where, I need to eat, I need energy basically. And if you then consume an energy drink, obviously, your blood sugar levels go up, you might temporarily feel better, and you figure, well, the energy drink gave me energy. No, it's actually a vicious circle that you absolutely do not want. That up and down, up and down, up and down is terrible for your health, and it doesn't really fix the underlying problem where, your blood sugar level should remain relatively stable even when you don't eat, and you should feel good about it. So that's number one, sugar. Not a good thing in liquid form unless you're stuck in a mountain, you're lost in the mountains and you have nothing to eat for days, and then you have an energy drink with sugar. That actually might give you energy because at that point you don't have any other resources. So, this is a good form of energy. But in everyday lives, glucose in energy drinks, terrible, doesn't really give you any energy that you need because you already have plenty of it. Number two is caffeine. And the thing with caffeine is, it's not one of those energy substrates your body can use for energy. It's not energy at all. What caffeine does is it blocks the neurotransmitters in your brain to prevent you from sensing when you get tired. You are tired, your body is tired, your body is exhausted for whatever reasons, lifestyle most likely, but your brain doesn't register that because of caffeine. So you think you have energy even though you don't. And that's akin to not having any money in the bank, but still having a credit card to buy stuff. Yes, you can do that, but the credit card doesn't really give you money. It allows you to borrow in a sense, and you have to repay that debt. And the same is with caffeine. If you're out of energy, if you're, have slept poorly, whatever the case might be, and you use an energy drink or caffeine more specifically to give you the illusion of energy, then you're basically on borrowed energy. It's not really energy that the caffeine gave you, it's just blocking those neurotransmitters, and so you can keep trucking at the expense of your health. So not really a good thing either. I'm not saying you should never have caffeine, but know that caffeine does not give you energy, and you will have to repay that debt at some point. And if you keep doing that debt might become so big that you're gonna have issues repaying it, much like with maxing out your credit cards. The third type of ingredients, and I'm gonna lump them all together, are artificial ingredients like artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, and other inflammatory ingredients that can cause issues in a variety of ways. One is they can cause issues in your gut. Specifically, artificial sweeteners can disrupt the delicate balance in your gut microbiome, and that has downstream consequences to how well your immune system works, how well your metabolism works, etc. So not a good thing. The other thing are artificial colors. There are many products that have red 40 and different artificial colorings that are endocrine disruptors. Endocrine disruptors means they disrupt how your hormones work. Many of those endocrine disruptors mimic the sex hormone estrogen. So they act in your body much like estrogen does. And that's not a good thing in both males as well as females, because that can lead to infertility, that can lead to lower testosterone levels, especially in men, that can lead to your inability to lose weight or your propensity to gain weight. So all of the things that come with elevated estrogen levels, not a good thing. You don't want to have that in anything that you consume. And I have a dedicated blog post and video talking about endocrine disruptors, so-called xenoestrogens. So check that out if you want to learn more. But the bottom line is the main ingredients in energy drinks, glucose or sugar, caffeine, and those artificial crap ingredients are no good for you. And some of the other things like amino acid or synthetic vitamins, they don't really do anything. So they're not going to help you, not going to give you any more energy. The bottom line is what you get from a traditional energy drink is just not good for you. Period. Now, the good news is there are some energy drinks, like the one that I use. I'm going to tell you why I use it and how I use it. Is a product called SnakeWater from Ketone. Ketone is the brand that makes my favorite exogenous ketone supplements, and they have an energy drink that relies on ketones. Now, if you remember from before, I told you that glucose, ketones, fatty acids, and lactic acid are some of the energy substrates that your body can use or your cells can use. Ketones in particular are the preferred fuel source of the brain, the heart, and many other organs. And your body can actually make ketones in the absence of dietary carbohydrates. That's the underlying principle of a ketogenic diet. When you're in ketosis, that's the metabolic state when your body makes those ketones to fuel the brain and other parts of your body. But the good news is you don't necessarily have to be on a ketogenic diet to leverage the benefits of ketones. You can get them via supplementation, and in the case of SnakeWater, it comes as part of that energy drink. So you get ketones, which are energy for your body, for your cells, but without causing a spike in insulin, a spike in insulin or a spike in blood sugar, and none of the other downsides of sugar. Many people who follow a ketogenic diet report that they have, better mental clarity, better cognitive function, they can better focus, etc. And that's all because of the ketones, which, as I said, are the preferred fuel source of the brain. So if you drink ketones or if you consume ketones, your brain works better, you feel more energetic, you feel sharper and more mental clarity. You recover quicker from workouts, and you might even improve your workout performance. So that's why I really like SnakeWater. In addition to the ketones, it doesn't have any of the artificial crap ingredients that I've mentioned before. It has 3 grams of carbohydrates from a slow metabolizing carbohydrate, so nothing that spikes your blood sugar. It also has a couple of amino acids and some other things that can help, but the main thing are really the ketones. That's why I consume SnakeWater. And now you might say, well, but why do you use why do you need an energy drink? Well, the thing is, I don't really need an energy drink. I structure my life in a way with good sleep, good diet, proper stress management, proper sun exposure, etc., that I maintain relatively stable energy levels throughout the day. Now, of course, there is a natural fluctuation in energy levels based on my circadian rhythm, and I know that roughly at 1 p.m. my energy levels are slightly lower than they would be either in the morning or then later in the afternoon again. And so I can leverage ketones to kind of bridge that gap and perform at peak during those times. And that's what I do. Now, one thing that's important to understand is, regardless of what energy drink you choose, be it SnakeWater or something else, if you feel like you need those energy drinks or caffeine to get you through the day, then something is already wrong. The energy drinks, healthy or otherwise, are not meant to replace a good night's rest. And I have a blog post that details some of the factors that might cause you to have not good energy levels throughout the day, and you need to fix those things first. So check them out. I'm going to link it down below before you try to mitigate any of that with energy drinks, because that's not going to work in the long run, and you're just going to ruin your health if you do that. But getting back to SnakeWater, I actually have a can here. That's the one that I use typically during the day, either before workouts or in the early afternoon, as I've mentioned, especially when I have to record YouTube videos or when I'm on a podcast or when I write very research intense blog posts that require peak mental performance, basically. Then I leverage SnakeWater. The other thing that I do is I combine that with a type of alcohol in the evening that also converts into ketones. And I have a separate YouTube video and blog post about that, so I'm not gonna tell you everything about it, but it's basically a product from Ketonite's sister company called Hard Ketones, and it contains butanediol that converts into ketones, because regular alcohol contains ethanol, and that's toxic, disrupts your sleep with all the things that you might already know about alcohol. But butanediol converts into ketones, and that helps me sleep better and wake up more rested and more recovered the next day. And I combine both, so I'm basically all day running on ketones in addition to some of the glucose that I might get from the carbohydrates that I eat throughout the day. Now, in case you wonder, SnakeWater costs about $5 a can, which is not super inexpensive, but considering the quality of ingredients, I think it's fair. Now, here is the good news. If you sign up for a subscription, you can get it for for 10% less. And if you buy in bulk, you can even save some more money. I typically buy 48 cans in total, combine it then with the hard ketones. So I get 96 cans of ketones basically delivered. That gives you the least expensive price per can, especially if you combine it with a subscription. And with that, we're gonna wrap it up. Again, energy drinks don't really give you energy, at least not in the form that you might expect. Glucose, yes, is an energy molecule, obviously it's an energy substrate, but chances are you already have plenty of that, so you don't get any extra energy from that. Caffeine doesn't give you energy, it just blocks the receptors in your brain to make you feel like you have energy, even though you don't, and you keep racking up energy debt. Not a good thing in the long run. The artificial ingredients in those energy drinks disrupt your gut, disrupt your endocrine system. Not a good thing in combination, especially if you combine all three things together: the sugar, the caffeine, as well as those endocrine disruptors and gut disturbing ingredients. I recommend SnakeWater, give it a try. It tastes good. I really like the taste. Gives you clean energy without the jitters, without any of the side effects of caffeine or other stimulants. Really like it. Clean ingredients, and it can help you get to peak performance both mentally as well as physically. Just make sure you do everything else right as well as far as lifestyle is concerned. Get enough sleep, eat well, and do all of the other things that I've documented in my blog post. So check that out, highly recommend that. That's really the foundation of everything. You cannot mitigate a lack of lifestyle-induced poor energy levels with any type of energy drink. It just doesn't work in the long run, unfortunately. Now, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments what I could have done better, and I'll see you in the next video.